More updates coming out regarding what some are calling now COVID 2.0, the white lung disease that we are seeing all over the nation. And there's been a little bit of concern as to whether or not this is actually spreading and what is unfolding right now. And we're seeing this in the United States along with several other nations. The white lung disease that many are saying could be COVID 2.0 as we enter into 2024. Now, I'm going to give you some updates on this as we've seen this month a lot of articles coming out on this and more just in the past 24 hours as the CDC comments on today's pneumonia outbreak versus early COVID cases as compared by experts. Now, there is no cause for alarm. People are wondering. Doctors are responding and they're going to give us the latest information, and they're saying it is time for extreme transparency. Now, let me know your thoughts. Does that mean that up to this point there has not been? A lot of people are asking the question, can we trust the information coming out? Can we trust China? Can we trust the CDC and who? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Put yes if you believe so, put no if not. And if I see your comment and what you think, that should be a good indication as to whether or not people can see me and hear me okay in the comments. So please let me know. Okay, I'm seeing some nopes. No, people are saying, no, we cannot trust them. Well, the latest information coming out, some experts are saying that we can trust the information. But I know the vast majority of the public are skeptical because of what we experienced just a couple years ago, as we had heard that it was a mysterious pneumonia outbreak, that it was contained to China, that it was not going to get out of hand. And then we literally had lockdowns globally. And now we are seeing what some are calling COVID 2.0, an exact repeat, almost identical to what we saw 4 years ago with this new white lung disease, which initially we had heard was not costing anybody their lives. Come to find out that is false. That this was contained again to China. We're now finding out that that is also false. It is here in the United States along with several other countries. And they're saying that it was actually contained to just children. Now we're hearing that the elderly and adults are getting this as well and is continuing to spread. And these articles coming out saying there should be extreme transparency with the public. And the question is there cause for alarm? Now, I do have some updates that have literally just came out in the past 24 hours that say the real story behind white lung pneumonia. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys these updates. And also, if you missed my video earlier today, you might want to check it out as we receive a warning regarding World War III being imminent. This coming from former President Donald Trump. He gave the U.S. a big warning in the last 48 hours. Check that out on my video section of my channel if you missed it. Now, in addition to that, we are live. We've got 558 people live with me in the room. Do me a favor. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget, take a second, smash the like button, helps out the channel, just spreads this out further. I see a lot of people in the comments joining in saying that they do not trust them. I see Jerome Fulton saying no. Are these the same bought and paid for experts as CR Buenaflora? Joe says the United States is involved. Transparency is a murky water, says Jonathan Fleming. The election period. No, this is going to be COVID 2.0, says Andy. A lot of people saying, why is it that it's happening exactly 4 years later as we're entering into the elections? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, you guys. But yeah, let me get you caught up on the latest. Now, do me a favor. If this is your first time here, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell if you want to stay up to date. And also, we have heard warnings that actually there could be a potential cyber attack coming from China. We've heard that 24 different infrastructure systems have been compromised by Chinese cyber attacks. We know that some of them are electrical grids in Texas, water systems in Hawaii, ports on the west coast of the United States. And also we've heard communications, social media platforms. We've heard that Rumble has been compromised. Facebook, they believe, has been compromised. And if things go down on YouTube, I also will pin for you guys in the comments. You can join www.steveramnews.com. And we're going to have a newsletter, something off of the social media platforms, so that way people can stay informed, stay up to date. All you have to do is add your name and your email. It is totally free. Somebody was asking how much we're charging and all that stuff. No, it is just to keep in contact with the community so that way people know exactly what is going on. So you can join www.steveramnews.com. It is just me. All I've got is right now a sign-up page, but I'm going to make sure that this is an additional line of communication to keep people up to speed and also shoot out newsletter email updates so that way people know exactly what is going on. Now, first off, let me go ahead and share with you this news article that came out just from Fox this month that says the CDC comments on today's pneumonia outbreak versus the early COVID cases, comparing one to another, and it seems incredibly identical. It is very concerning, but they're trying to shed some light on this and saying that we need to be extremely transparent with the public. Here is what it says. Now, pediatric pneumonia outbreaks in multiple countries have some doctors and families concerned, but statements from public health agencies suggest that there is no cause for alarm. This is similar, though, to their initial reactions that we saw with the COVID-19 pandemic. Many are saying. So that is the big cause for concern right now, is that the fact that they're saying there's no cause for concern is an exact replica of what we saw 4 years ago and the way things are unfolding as well. Hospitals in China have reportedly been overwhelmed with sick children as a result of the pneumonia outbreak, according to ProMed, the global digital disease surveillance system. Also, the Netherlands Institute for Health Services Research, or NIVIL, has reported a surge in cases, as has some U.S. states as well, including, we mentioned, the states of Ohio and the states of Massachusetts. Now, I know I've heard a lot of people asking, what about various other states? Is it growing? Is it spreading? At this time, I am checking the headlines. I'm not seeing this spreading. I'm seeing it contained to Ohio and Massachusetts. Now, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, in December 1st sent the following statement from Fox News medical contributor Mark Siegel. As of today, the CDC is not seeing anything out of the ordinary related to levels of mycoplasma across the country, but we are watching it closely. However, we're hearing that it seems like everybody right now is getting sick from, they believe, the flu, from COVID, from various different things. And a lot of people are questioning these experts, saying that there's nothing to be concerned about because they're saying it seems like everybody at this time is getting sick. And I've seen a lot of people in the comments saying they believe that it is already in their states. There are so many people that seem to be getting sick and can't seem to actually recover from the sicknesses that they're experiencing. Now, on its website, the agency stated that it is monitoring reports of increased respiratory illness around the world, and that diagnosis of pneumonia in children, along with other respiratory illness, increases every year in the fall and winter months. So they're just saying that this is something that is typical that is going on. The agency also noted that the number of children seeking emergency care for diagnosed pneumonia is largely consistent with the previous year for children ages 0 to 4, with slight increases above the typical levels for children ages 5 to 17. Now, these increases are likely caused by virus and bacteria that we expect to see during the respiratory illness season, said the CDC. The World Health Organization, or WHO, too, has chalked up the outbreaks to known respiratory diseases rather than novel viruses. As of now, at the present time, Chinese surveillance and hospital systems report that the clinical manifestations are caused by known pathogens in circulation, WHO said on its website. So they are saying that this is coming from China and that we should take their word on it, that they are giving us true information that is factual. They are saying, now, we also received this information late. WHO had requested it. China was supposed to give it within a certain period of time. They did not. And then also, too, we're seeing that there's conflicting information, and it appears to be reaching other nations. But they're saying that this is not something that is breaking out, that this is actually just happens to be a circumstance, a happenstance where things are just, it happens everybody at the same time is getting sick. It's a coincidence. Let me know if you believe that or not. Let me know if you think that this just happens to be a coincidence, that this is just sparking. If you believe so, put a 2, that this is just coincidence. If you do not trust the words that are coming out of their mouth, you believe that it's something different, put a 1. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd like to see what people think. So if you don't trust them and you think that this could potentially be going from person to person, put a 1. If you do trust them and you believe that it's just happenstance, put a 2. I'm seeing a lot of 1s starting to come in. A lot of people saying they don't believe it. So I don't know, but this is what's coming out. Now it says mycoplasma pneumonia is a common respiratory pathogen and a common cause for pediatric pneumonia and is readily treated with antibiotics. Due to the arrival of the winter season, the increased trend as respiratory illness is expected. Co-circulation of respiratory viruses may increase the burden on healthcare facilities. With the current childhood pneumonia outbreak in China, Siegel said that both the CDC and the WHO have been upfront asserting that it is not a new pathogen. So they're saying that this is not something new. there is less of a sense of suppressing information, and the high incidence of resistant mycoplasma infections associated with the outbreak has also been clear, he went on. So they are saying this is not like the last time. They're saying that this is something different. They're saying that this is just the flu season taking effect. The CDC has also done a good job of tracking cases here and asserting that there is no connection and that the incident of mycoplasma has not increased. They are monitoring the situation very closely, which appears to be real improvement over early 2020. Comparison to the COVID reactions. Now, the health agency's reactions to the current pneumonia outbreak in late 2023, they have been compared to the agency's initial reactions to COVID-19 back in 2020. In a testimony to Congress in February 27th of 2020, the then CDC Director Robert Redfield stated that most cases of COVID-19 in the United States have been associated with travel from China, but some person-to-person spread among close contacts of travelers has been seen as well. He also said it is important to note that the virus is not spreading within American communities at this time. He went on, the potential global public health threat posed by the virus is high, but right now the immediate risk to Americans is low. The great risk is for people who have recently traveled to China or been exposed to someone with COVID-19. Now, Dr. Brett Osborne, the Florida neurosurgeon and longevity expert, noted that in the early days of COVID-19's pandemic, before the virus entered the U.S., the CDC was relatively closed-lipped about the specific details. So no wonder why people are concerned and wondering whether or not we can trust them. As they're saying back in 2020, they were not sharing information. People did not know what was going on. To mitigate the risk of a similar occurrence, the United States, again, being caught off guard, Congress submitted a battery of questions to the CDC demanding answers about the recent pneumonia outbreak in China. The agency has yet to respond. Now, in a November 29th letter from the U.S. Committee of Energy and Commerce to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, Director Mandy Cohen, committee chair, wrote the following. The Center for Disease Control and Protection, or the CDC's failure to communicate accurate information in real time during the COVID-19 pandemic has undermined the public's trust in the agency. Yes, exactly. That is why people are so concerned about what's going on and not trusting what experts or China is saying about this, as it does seem to be transmissible. If the CDC is to regain credibility with the American people, it must be transparent and forthcoming with the information that it has on public health threats facing our nation. It is widely known that China thwarted international efforts, including efforts by the CDC to respond to this burgeoning COVID-19 crisis as it began to unfold in China. It would be an abdication of the CDC's duty to American people if it allows China to repeat its misdeeds from the COVID-19 pandemic. The American people should not have to rely on the unaccountable and untrustworthy World Health Organization to communicate information about China's public health threats. So they're saying we need accurate information. We do not need you guys suppressing information. Be transparent with it and let us know exactly what's going on. And at this time, the trust of the American people, the trust of the world has been lost with these groups and with China. Siegel pointed out that the CDC was caught flat-footed with COVID, in large part because China was suppressing crucial public health information and CDC was not allowed to have boots on the ground to investigate, which they repeatedly requested through the CDC Director, Robert Redfield. He also said they did post the structure of the virus online early, but little else. Adding that the problem, Siegel noted, was that the World Health Organization called COVID a regional problem only. And again, similar to what is going on right now, saying that this is contained to China and it just happens to be popping up in different areas, but it's not being transmitted. Now, while primarily data suggests that the pneumonia outbreaks are caused by known viruses, including RSV, mycoplasma, and other common viruses, doctors and health authorities are calling for definitive answers. So again, they're reassuring us that this is nothing new. It's being caused by RSV, mycoplasma, common colds and viruses, but they don't have a definitive answer. They don't know this quite yet for sure. The CDC must drill down on the specifics and apply political pressure on China to best prepare the United States for another potential pandemic, said Osborne. Wow. So we have an individual here saying we need to know, we need to prepare for a COVID 2.0, a second pandemic. Early warning is critical, he's saying. He's saying, please do not suppress the information. Just let it be known. If we are entering into another phase of COVID, please let the American public know. The CDC is our microbiological liaison to the world. It is our surveillance system. It is our eyes and ears, he went on. We are reliant on its liability to protect the nation through extreme transparency. As Osborne pointed out, it is always best to err on the side of caution and alert the nation early of the potential problem or else risk another COVID-19 pandemic. Now, in addition to that, a new update coming out just today, and it says the real story behind the white lung pneumonia. And it says experts say a pneumonia outbreak among children that is currently hitting the state of Ohio. So this is specific to the United States, and a cluster of pneumonia cases that are happening in China. They are unrelated, so they're vocalizing the same thing, despite some social media posts and tabloid articles that have ambiguously linked the two. Now, for the source of this for you guys, I will also add this in the description for you, but this is coming from the Global Center of Health Security. This is Nebraska Medicine, UNMC. This just came out in the past 24 hours. The usual respiratory pathogens are making their rounds this cold and flu season, yet the specter of a pandemic has left many on alert for the next novel agent. I understand outbreaks in China can make some people nervous, but this is not that, said Paul Offit, an infectious disease physician at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Although another global illness may emerge in the future, the current pneumonia reports are nothing to worry about, he adds. And again, let me know your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you believe these reports? This coming out from doctors in Nebraska. Many pathogens that circulate in the Northern Hemisphere winter and year-round, including flu, respiratory syncytial viruses, or RSV, and now COVID, are far from benign and can lead to pneumonia in some cases. But experts say there is no reason to panic or interpret the current uptick in illnesses as anything other than a typical circulation of respiratory viruses and bacteria. These are just everyday pathogens that normally increase during the wintertime, having a somewhat early and very assertive increase at the present time, said William Schaffner, an infectious disease physician and professor at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. But people are not helpless against these germs, says Rama Thayagarjan, an infectious disease and internal medical physician at the University of Texas at Austin Dell Medical School. COVID and the flu and RSV all have vaccines that can reduce the risk of pneumonia, she says. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. This is an update that has just come out on this in the past 24 hours. Like I said, if more information rolls out on this, I'll keep you up to date. People asking if it's entering into other states. I have not seen any news reporting on it. A lot of people believing that it is already here in these states. And I see that Lucky Ducky saying that the x-rays show that your lungs look white like popcorn. And yes, that's why they're calling it the white lung disease. When they do the x-rays, people's lungs are very infected. And they're saying that this is really impacting those with low immune systems, children and the elderly, but they're also getting reports of this in adults as well. So they're saying it is not confined to that, which is what we had originally heard. Now, as more comes out, I will be sure to let you guys know, but I just wanted to share with you the latest update because people have been asking me about this. What is going on with the white lung pneumonia, the white lung disease? Is this going to be COVID 2.0? A lot of people very concerned, and especially as we go into 2024, it just seems like there's so much uncertainty in the air right now. We're looking at potential wars in the Middle East and globally. People are talking about World War III. Check out my video from earlier today. Just a warning in the past 48 hours from former President Donald Trump. And we also have potential COVID 2.0. We have elections happening in 2024. And it seems like economic instability as well. People concerned about just living day to day, just trying to make it. So as more information comes out, though, I will be sure to share with you guys so you know exactly what's going on here on the channel, because I believe that knowledge is power, and us knowing what's taking place is half of the battle. If we can know what is coming, what is going on, then we're going to be able to prepare, make the right decisions for ourselves and our families based upon the information coming in. And I will always make sure to cite the sources for you, put it on the screen when I can, and make sure that you get the latest information. But you guys, that is the latest on this. Do me a favor, if you have not already and you appreciate the updates, hit the like button for me. It takes a second. If you want to stay up to date outside of YouTube, join the Steve Ram News newsletter. That's going to be www.steveramnews.com. I have pinned it in the description for you. And also, if this is your first time here, you want to stay up to date, hit subscribe. And also, I see we have several channel members on with us, like Janet Jenkins saying, have a blessed day. If you want to support the channel, you can do so, not mandatory, but that helps me out a ton. I appreciate it. And as a result, all of the articles that I reference will pop up in your YouTube feed. So you can just get them, click them, and go right there. But if not, again, no worries. I want everyone to have access to this. So you will go ahead. I will have these all linked for you in the description below. But with that being said, you guys, that is the latest. I will keep you up to date. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. Merry Christmas. This is Steve.